In 43 AD, Britain was no longer an unknown land for Rome. In 55 and 54 BC, Julius Caesar fought on the island. He failed to conquer Britain, but from that time contacts began between Rome and the island tribes. Already during Caesar's campaigns, the Briton tribe of the Trinovans became Roman allies. The Trinovans became allies of Rome. At the time of the emperors Augustus and Tiberius, the king of one of the strongest Celtic tribes, the Catuvelans, was Cunobalin. He was able to conquer the Trinovans and a number of other Celtic tribes. The exiled rulers of the island found themselves at the court of Augustus. At the same time, there was trade between the empire and Britain, which expanded the knowledge of the Romans about the island. Preparations for the campaign began under the Emperor Claudius. Aulus Platus was appointed commander of the expedition. Prior to that, he was the governor of the province of Pannonia. For the campaign in Britain, the commander received 4 legions and auxiliary troops. There are about 40,000 people in total. The expeditionary force went to Britain in 3 detachments to confuse the enemy, who could meet them at the landing site. The army of Platus landed in the southeast of England, on the territory of the modern country Richborough. Unlike Caesar, Aulus Platus did not face the enemy immediately after landing. Having advanced inland, his troops defeated the leaders of the Catuvelans, Caratach and Tugudumnes, in small battles. Soon after, part of the Doban tribe, who lived west of the landing site, surrendered to the Romans. The main Celtic forces gathered on the Medway River to prevent the Romans from crossing and moving on further. The fate of Celtic Britain depended on the victory in this battle. Platus sent soldiers from auxiliary troops across the river. They spread panic in the British army by attacking horses harnessed to chariots. After them, the soldiers of the Second Legion, under the command of Flavius Vespasian, the future emperor, crossed the river. Also, the Britons were driven back from the crossing. They returned to the battlefield the next day. In a stubborn battle, the soldiers of Platus managed to win. The defeated Catuvelans retreated to the mouth of the river Thames. Tugudumnes died in one of the battles in this area. The death of the leader embittered the Britons. After the victory on the Medway River, Platus sent a message to the emperor. Claudius must appear briefly in Britain to call himself the victor in this war. The emperor arrived on the island in August, accompanied by the Praetorian Guard and several elephants. Claudius stayed in Britain for about 2 weeks. He accepted the surrender of a number of Celtic tribes. Some of them have already been defeated, others have chosen to recognize the power of Rome voluntarily. Then, having given the order to Platus to continue the war, Claudius returned to Gaul. At the beginning of 44 AD, the emperor returned to Rome and celebrated his triumph. 8 years later, the triumphal arch of Claudius was built. The words of the emperor were stamped on it that he was the first to conquer the barbarian tribes across the ocean and accepted the surrender of their 11 kings. As a result of the campaign of 43 AD, the south of the island to the Trent River was under the rule of Rome and the kings who recognized its authority. The legends continued to conquer the island. In 47 AD, Aulus Platus returned to Rome. By this time, the border of the Roman possessions was approaching the Humber River. Resistance to the Romans continued. Several tribes continued to raid the Roman province. The Ardevissians and Silurians, who lived on the territory of modern Wales, remained unconquered. The conquest of the Britons lasted a long time and was completed under the command of Agricola in the reign of Domitian.